All right, guys, let's stop it there because I just realized you probably would have had a better experience had you been watching it versus listening. But anyway, yeah, so let's get this show started. I really am really excited to talk to Nate Campbell today. Very, very excited. Always excited when this person comes in to my humble abode and joins me and shares his insights because he's very, very, very intelligent, even though throughout his career he was knocked upside the head quite a few times. Now, I got dropped as a baby a couple times, and people say I'm crazy, so I do not know how he made it. But anyway, let's give him a proper introduction. And
new WBC lightweight champion of the world.
All right. It's Mr. Nate Campbell. Welcome. Walk on into the building. And, let's get started. Let's get this party started.
How y'all doing?
Mr. Campbell. Hey, how are you?
I'm good. What's going on?
I wish I had your intro versus that guy's intro because, like I said, I watched a couple of his fights. I realized that he's kind of new, fresh. But all those guys he fights seem to be all, like they eat one too many donuts, not necessarily healthy food. Well, what's going on with that? Even that picture I posted, that guy looks a little healthy. I think it's the word I want to use to stay on the safe side.
You know what? Regardless of what people think about Ajagba, regardless of what they think about him, he came ready to fight.
Yes.
He can at this point. He only fights who they put in front of him. He doesn't pick them. His people pick him. Mm-hmm. The young man that I came out there with, Curtis Harper, had the experience. Everything was in his favor, as far as I'm concerned. Even though he was out of shape, he told me before he called me up on Monday to leave on Wednesday. Told me he had been training. Come to find out, he hadn't been training. But at that point, I'd already given him my word that I was gonna work his corner. So now I'm in it. There's a big reason that I came out with Curtis Harper because if Curtis Harper, he made me make a new rule. If I don't train you, I won't go with you. But Curtis Harper is a guy that I made a vow to. Me and his trainer, we had the same trainer at one time. And when Curtis first came into the gym, I made a vow that if Curtis Harper ever needed me to doc, I would go help him. I kept my word. That's dead at this point because at this point, I've done all I can to help this kid. I promoted 2 fights. I took my last fight. I fought my last fight just so that they would give me the finances to highlight him because I didn't need to fight again. Everybody knew who I was in the state of Florida. I'm a legend. And I fought my very last fight to benefit him. The next fight that I promoted, he won a title, a small title. A friend of mine had a title. He had just started up, so he became the very first guy to fight for that title. And he won it. I paid the sanctioning fees. I've always done the best I could for this kid. And for him to do this has nothing to do with Ajagba. Everything that I'm talking about is what he did. So, no, I don't. He's trying to spin this out to be a public, him and his wife are trying to play spin doctor and make this out to be a protest. This is no protest. If you were protesting, you could have knocked this kid out, walked to the middle of the ring and protested. Say what you had to say on national TV.
Right. Now, I want to share with everybody why you are qualified to stand in the corner and do what you do, because we are talking to a professional boxer, one who competed from 2000 to 2014. For those of you who do not know, and he held several titles, WBA Super IBF and WBO Lightweight, and those titles he held from 2008 to 2009. And then he previously, superweight, featherweight title in 2005. Your resume is very, very long. I want to make sure I give you all your credit. Junior welterweight title in 2009. Now, it says here that you had a total of 50 fights, 37 wins, 26 knockouts, and 1 draw, 1 no contest. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Is that about right?
37. Yeah, 37-11-1. One no contest. I fought them all. I fought Casamayor. I fought on Juan Diaz. I fought Tim Bradley. I fought Victor Ortiz. Danny Garcia. I fought them. I never backed down, and I took the fight with a lot of those guys on short notice. So you can't tell me that a guy takes a fight on short notice and doesn't short the fight, because I did. My argument is simple.
Right.
You knew what it was when you signed the contract.
Right.
And him and his wife are trying to spin this another way.
Mhm. All right. Well, why don't I play the clip for those people who do not know what the heck we're talking about? I'm going to go on and play the clip of the actual event. It's only about a 1-minute clip. It doesn't say much. Like I said, it's better if you would be better if you had a visual, but I don't, because you're tuned into a radio show. But I'm going to play it, and then we come back. We're going to bring Josh Joe Brown on in. And hopefully he knows a little bit about boxing more than I do, and we can have this conversation, because I'm actually going to read some excerpts from an article to you, Nate, and I'll get your explanation as to what they were trying to say, because we know the media too loves to spin stuff. But I am just really, I want to hear your perspective as to what they put.
Okay.
I think it was. I'll get the article. Hold on just a second, you guys. You're tuned in right now to the Judge Joe Brown Show. I'm Valerie Denise Jones, 929-477-1167. Let's find out what Nate was just talking about.
It is a heavyweight matchup. I'm going to let you know when that man fights. Efe Ajagba, do not blink. Of his 5 professional bouts, 4 of them have been done in the first round. So he likes to bring an end to opponents in quick fashion. And Curtis Harper has walked out of the ring.
Wait, what?
I cannot believe it.
I have never seen this before.
He walked out of the ring.
He's not fighting this guy.
He walked out of the ring.
I've never seen this before in my life.
Wow. Curtis Harper has walked out of the ring.
Are really upset right now because,
well, it looks to the painting of the picture was a portrait of destruction anyway, so he probably saw that same portrait.
Curtis Harper is on his way to the dressing room and is walking out of the ring. So
I've never seen this. They forfeited the match.
The end comes at 1 second of the first round for your winner by disqualification and still undefeated, Efe, the one and only Ajagba.
That's easy money.
All right, we got another one and only, and I'm going to give him a proper introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Get ready to rumble!
So, Jarrell, let me open up your mic. I'm having way too much fun. This is exciting for me. Can you tell I'm really getting ready into my football mode, because I absolutely love football season. But welcome, Judge Joe Brown, to the show. We got Nate Campbell on the line and several people who have already pressed the number 1. So we're going to, get some healthy banter between the two of you, and then we're going to open up the lines and see what other people are thinking about this disaster that Nate Campbell brought to my attention.
Well, your guest has a very good boxing record. It would be much better if it weren't for this recent trend of combining so many classes with confusion that engenders. So, more power to you, brother. That was some good fighting.
Thank you, sir.
I'm rather personally acquainted with a lot of boxers. I knew Muhammad Ali. His number 1 bodyguard for years was a close and personal friend. I've had several hours worth of discussions with Foreman. I remember one animated discussion with Hitman Hearns sitting at a Pistons playoff game in Detroit as to whether or not he lost to Sugar Ray Leonard. He had some interesting remarks later on from Sugar Ray Leonard about that. So I've known a number of fighters. I kept up with the sport a bit. So, yeah, you had a pretty good run. I'm glad that you decided to get into political commentary. That's very conscientious of you. I commend you on that. And that, interestingly enough, has become a trend lately with boxers. So many have been dealing with the political aspects of fighting these days that it seems like almost a natural, especially since Ali did it. And before that, Jack Johnson, dealing with the relevance of boxing as a showcase for that thing about black men that the rest of the white world does not like to mention. So I'm always for it. I know that Facebook even has you down there, allowing you to do some of that streaming political commentary. They advertise that they do have a component where that is okay. They usually try to discourage it from all the rest of what they do and leave it left over to nonsense and gossip. But I like what you're doing.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
So more power to you. That I found that was kind of an unusual situation. I can't remember. The only thing I can remember that came even remotely close
Durand.
is when, no, not Durand. It's when Sonny Liston threw in the towel on one of the bouts he had with Ali. I was looking at it live on television when it happened. Then that was 50-plus years ago, back in the 1960s, early 60s, when they did that, they televised those things live. So that's the only thing I can think of. Liston was hurt, but people just didn't get it. I don't recall seeing anything where somebody just didn't even start to fight. I've seen it where it happens where somebody couldn't make the weight. In fact, I think that's happened once or twice around you, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But just getting up and walking out of there with no explanation, I've never seen that before.
Well, I want to read an article to both of you and get your opinion as to what boxingscene.com meant, because they said that, help me with his name, Ajagba? Is that his name?
Efe Ajagba.
Efe Ajagba. Okay. He said that Harper was scared and asked me to go easy on him. Heavyweight prospect Efe Ajagba, 6-0, 5 KOs, noticed something was strange when he came face-to-face with opponent Curtis Harper last Thursday at the weigh-in. It was figured he was scared. He walked towards me and said he had watched all of my fights and that he needed me to take it easy on him. Well, why would I take it easy? This is my life. And then he said, but then when he came face-to-face, when they came face-to-face to each other on Friday night at the Armory in Minneapolis, the fight never happened. Harper reportedly unhappy over his purse. Now, this is what I want to ask you about, because it says that Harper was unhappy over his purse, walked out of the ring when the first bell sounded. He was disqualified, the purse was withheld, and he could be suspended by the local commission. When Harper walked out of the ring and began walking to the back, Ajagba thought it was a joke. I started walking towards him and saw him stepping through the ropes. I was shocked and surprised at first, thinking maybe it was a joke. Seeing Harper walk outside the arena and down the runway, I asked Ronnie Shields what happened. Where's he going? I heard someone say he ain't coming back. He's not fighting. According to Ajagba, 4 other opponents had withdrawn from the contest after Harper finally accepted. 4 other opponents had pulled out because they didn't want to fight me. So Harper was the 5th, but he signed the contract, and when you sign the contract, you're getting paid a certain amount to fight, and you're supposed to fight. Instead, he gets into the ring, and then he walks out of the ring, Ajagba said. And then it just talks about, he's been trained by Ronnie Shields and promoted by Richard Schaefer of Ringstar Sports. So that's the end of the article. So you gave a different perspective. What do you say of this article saying that he was upset because of the purse?
That's what Curtis Harper's telling people. He's telling people that, but that's not the issue because he knew he was getting paid when he walked in the arena. It's not like he showed up and all of a sudden they made a deal with him. He signed this contract before he even got on the plane. So my argument is simple, and if I'm wrong, correct me. It's not like he's telling everybody that Richard Schaefer was taking money out of his purse. Richard Schaefer wasn't even at the fight. I mean, the contract is between the contract was going to be upheld by the commission. The commission's job is to make sure that the fighter gets what they're deemed on that contract. Simple. I don't have to debate, discuss any of that because the commission's job is to make sure that those fighters get paid what they signed the contract to get. That's the easy work. So for him to come on now and say, well, they were going to take this amount of money from me, he had a contract. His contract is the one they go by. And all he had to do was protest. And if there was an issue, he could have said something to me. But I didn't make the fight. So all I did was he called me on Monday to come help him in the corner. You know, and I'm like, okay, that's not a problem. I'll do that for you. I wouldn't do it for anybody else for the most part, but I'll do it for you. You know, that's very
it's kind of late when you wait till the last moment to show up like that. There's all kinds of consequential damages. The advertisers, commercial sponsors have suffered detrimental harm. They relied to that detriment on the representations that the fight was going to go on. It's one thing if somebody gets knocked out, that's understood. If somebody just backs out because of last-moment contract dispute when he's walking in the ring, that's crazy because they can sue him for that.
Well,
do you think did he get suspended?
Everybody's damages.
Well, here's the thing.
What was his excuse? The money? That's his excuse.
He's trying to make it about the money, but here's what I'm going to tell you happened. Curtis Harper and his wife had already had a plan to do this. Because there was no need for him to bring her to that fight, none whatsoever. Me and her were arguing and debating about the way she was talking to him. Let this man fight. The one thing that a fighter has, one time in a fighter's life, when it's all about that fighter, is when that fighter's getting ready to fight. It's about his wife and kids any other time. But right now, at this moment, I had to explain to her, I really don't want to hear you talking. Oh, you're sexist. Call me what you want. I said, call me what you want, ma'am. But right now, I don't want to. All I want to hear. Here's what I did. I took my index finger and my thumb. I said, right now you're doing this. I was taking my finger going up and down. I said, what I really want to see you do is this. Because right now I have a fighter that's a head case that I got to get to this fight. I know he's a head case. I've dealt with him before. And through it all, she's still talking. I'm like, you still don't get it. This is not about you. But she had a plan to make boxing look bad.
Well, that sounds like what it is, and it's absolute stupidity because it's breach of contract, detrimental reliance. She and her husband can get personally hit for every dime everybody claims they lost in anticipatory damages. His opponent is sitting there talking about all that he could have made had the fight gone on, and he had a good chance, probably would have won. So it's all of what came out. How much, when you spend commercial time, usually the idea is 1/10 of what you anticipate making. So just multiply all of what the people put up for commercial sponsorships on that, multiplied by 10, and you start talking about the damages that he's liable for. And as to whether or not he can bankrupt that, hell, he might not ever be able to do that. So he's got himself in a stupid position where he's got tens of millions of dollars worth of liability he's looking at for a stunt. And her dumb behind is going to get caught right up into her husband. They'll both be broke. And since she participated in it as an advisor, they can sweep her up in there, too.
You know what?
I mean,
look here. All I want to tell you is this is why I watch Judge Joe Brown show every day. I wish you would be here to be my lawyer because I'm looking for a lawyer to sue this kid. It isn't about the money. It's about the fact, dude. I'm fielding this question over and over. What did I know this? Wait a minute, man. Anybody who knows me know I don't do this kind of stuff.
I can't recall. I'm 70-some years old. My old man used to be a boxing fanatic. Hell, he taught me how to box. I used to do it as an amateur years ago myself. I've been watching boxing matches that I can remember. I can remember when I was 4 or 5 watching, so that's 67 years ago, 66 years ago. So I've been looking at boxing. I don't recall reading about or hearing anything like this.
Ever in life.
Something like that, no, See, I mean, maybe he would have done better than just said he got scared or he was nervous or something.
Well, that's
going
what
in
the
with
other
that,
guy
he
was
didn't like the
saying.
contract. That's too damn late. Then you'd put all these people in the position of relying on you.
Yeah.
And if she wanted to make a negative statement about boxing, hell, everybody knows if you're somebody coming in and you got a long shot at a fighter that ordinarily you wouldn't get a chance to fight, you take it because your next fight's going to be the big money fight, not that one.
Thank you.
You got to pound your way into a position.
I'm at a place in my life right now where I just don't. I can't understand this. I cannot.
Okay, so are you guys going to ignore the fact that Efe said that he was just straight up scared? Like he's scared?
With that. If he wants to punk out, that's a whole different thing.
Right.
But since time immemorial, everybody's got fear, but being a man means you overcome it. You get in there.
There you go.
See, that's that feminist nonsense where you talking about, I was scared. Well, see, the reason boxing's gotten an attraction is every man who used to stand up to a bully knows what it is to, I'm going to have to take this swing, and get it on whether I win, lose, or draw. You got to twist that up. And, every grown man out there in society who's done that, let alone all these little sissified punks whose mamas, the school teachers, and the police protect their little punk asses from a fight when they're in the 3rd grade. I don't count these little sorry excuses for whatever in the hell they are. Every grown man knows what that is, and nobody punks out like that. Hell, it's a fight. It's a different thing, too, see, when you are putting on these gloves and there are rules and you've got some protocols you got to follow. You get scared one kind of way, but that's more or less, am I going to perform? Am I going to mess up? You're more afraid of what you're going to do as a mistake than you are of the fight.
There you go. Come on. You ain't lying. Let me tell you something.
But you want to punk out and say, I was scared. You got to have little sissified pink frilly panties for draws that you wear on a regular basis.
Because I agree. I totally agree because I don't believe Efe would have lied and said, put out this report that he asked him to go easy on him. I think that he probably did. Say behind the scenes.
Valerie, I'm going to say this.
Yes.
Let me tell you something. See, courage is not the absence of fear. It is not the absence of fear at all. You're going to be, listen, it's not that I was fearless when I fought. I just understood that this is what I was doing. I had to do it, and this is what it was going to be. And our problem is, now we make so many excuses for these cats that nobody holds them accountable. Oh, my gracious. This kid, it's not about the money, because he was already trying to short me on the money. And even if what we're talking about is me coming out there and getting everything I was supposed to get, the most I was gonna get was $600. But I did it because I'm like, kid, I told him, I said, this is the one that could change your life. This is the one that could change it. This right here, this win right here shuts up all your detractors. And, that's why I'm looking at it like that. This is the one that changes. Look, this changes the game. All right, you're
but
right.
I want to ask you. I saw the picture. He did not look in shape. He looked like he would have been the type to run out of the ring. This guy looks like freaking like some RoboCop compared to him. I mean, he was just.
I'm gonna say this.
He's rotund and soft and fluffy.
Right.
And the other guy is all muscular and tight.
That's no excuse.
Thank you, Mike Tyson looked like a killer the night he fought Buster Douglas. But who won?
Yeah.
Come on.
And look at Ali against the Bear. Well, Ali was 196 lean kid fighting Sonny Liston.
235 pounds, 240.
Or even look at Floyd Patterson punked out, but he got in the ring with Liston. He's scared to death, but he got in there.
And I say this. I mean this. I mean this without a. Stop making this. This kid and his wife had a game plan set up to do what they did, and what they were doing was to make whatever they thought that this was going to turn out to be some kind of situation where they get all these interviews that they were getting paid for, because they were telling people they had paid interviews, and you come on, man, they don't understand that this is a warrior sport. We don't just like snitches in the game. If you're gonna do something like that, you gotta pay the price, because nobody's down with a person that tells.
Right.
If you do the crime, be a man, do the time. My daddy told me this a long time ago. He said, the one thing you will never be is a co-defendant.
Right.
If you did it, you did it.
So my question is, did he get suspended or no?
You know what? Here's the thing about it. Everybody's misconstruing if he's suspended or not, with the fact that it ain't just about him being suspended. This board is gonna make sure when they do suspend him that it sticks. They're making sure
so that he'll never fight again. Is that what you're saying?
See, look at
not
this. Look at
ever
this.
in life.
See how this game works is the promoter gets all these sponsors together. They put their money up. They fight to get the first few minutes because they know there might be a Tyson situation where the knockouts come in very quickly, so a whole lot of exposure isn't gained. But people have to work hard to put these financial promotion packages together, get everything set up to go do it. So now all of these people that put up this big money lost all that money because this fool went and pulled that off. Now, if his wife was trying to make a statement about the fight game, it was the wrong way to do it. The wrong way to do it.
Right.
See, first off, she was relying on this thing I've been seeing where they have been trying to emasculate the fight game. But the problem with that is they've got this cage fighting that is developed recently that, is less regulated than boxing is to a great extent. And they've even got women in it where they don't need to be. But, it's an interesting kind of transference thing. So I understand, I get it exactly what she's trying to do. But it was a zero-sum game. It didn't work. It's dumbass, and she was stupid, he was stupid, and they pulled off a stunt.
Right.
It would have been a whole lot better for him to have gotten in there, trained his ass off, gotten a chance to at least look good against his opponent, because that opponent was in good shape. He was a dangerous-looking opponent. But that's part of the fight game.
Right, exactly.
No, but see, it's like, part of this whole thing about what's so interesting about a fight game is sometimes, they had Russell Crowe play the part, but they did have somebody known as the Cinderella Man. See, sometimes you don't have to look like a gorilla to be able to fight.
Right. All right, so what I want to do right now is we got a lot of people on the line, and I want to, again, revisit this whole thing. Like I said, it's about a minute long. And when we come back, we're going to open up the lines, and then I will allow you guys to ask, the two on the phone today, Boxer Nate Campbell and also Judge Joe Brown, a question, or chime in and give your opinion or suggestion as to what happened. So I will right now just play this clip and see you guys on the other side of the break.
It is a heavyweight matchup. I'm going to let you know when that man fights Efe Ajagba. Do not blink. Of his 5 professional bouts, 4 of them have been done in the first round. So he likes to bring an end to opponents in quick fashion. And Curtis Harper has walked out of the ring.
Wait, what?
I cannot believe it.
I have never seen this before.
He walked out of the ring.
He's not fighting this guy.
He walked out of the ring.
I've never seen this before in my life.
Wow. Curtis Harper has walked out of the ring.
Are really upset right now because...
Well, his looks could have painted a picture with a portrait of destruction anyway, so he probably saw that same portrait.
Curtis Harper is on his way to the dressing room and is walking out of the ring. So
I've never seen
forfeit.
They forfeited the match.
The end comes at 1 second of the first round for your winner by disqualification and still undefeated, Efe, the one and only Ajagba.
That's easy money.
All right, guys. You're listening to the Judge Joe Brown Show. I'm Valerie Denise Jones. If you're tuned in via the computer, please give us a call at 929-477-1167. Again, that number is 929-477-1167. All right, so like I said, we are going to now open up the line, and I'm going to start with someone who's been part of the family for a very long time. Welcome to the show. Philo, come on in, and do you have a question or comment? I'm getting some feedback from either Judge Joe Brown or Nate. I'm not necessarily sure. But, if you guys could figure out how to adjust your phone, that would be great because it's giving a very, very loud sound. Like we're getting knocked out by the one and only Nate Campbell. So, Philo, do you have a question or comment?
Well, I've been listening, and shouts out to the panel first off, Nate, Judge Joe Brown, and yourself. I've been listening, and from my research, they said it was over his purse, and according to Nate, always having the great inside information when it comes to boxing, that wasn't the case. It was something else. But this is unheard of, man. This is like somebody telling you they're going to beat you up at the school, and you run home. You know what I'm saying? And you the one been talking all the stuff. So, this is shocking that somebody is in this profession professionally. There's other boxers who train their life a way to ever get a chance to step in the ring for a purse. And so this guy had the opportunity to step in the ring for a purse. Not only that, he had some influential people behind him like Nate, like other people who took time out their life to help this gentleman, for him to show up to a fight and just walk out the ring just quick. And that's I guess you can look at it as like a cowardice act, so to say. And it goes back to what Judge Joe Brown been preaching on, manhood. When will you ever think you'll see in this profession, which is known to be a man's profession, so to say, the cream of the crop with boxing? It's such a physical sport that this guy just, first of all, say take it easy on him, which was cowardice in itself, and then to just walk out the ring. This is the time we living in, man, and people need to just pay attention to these acts because it's serious out here. It's just real serious out here. But go ahead.
Philo, I want to ask you something because, they're introducing, and I'm doing this on purpose because I love to see when Judge Joe Brown goes in and Nate too. That there isn't an agenda feminized sport because they're introducing male cheerleaders to football, So maybe this guy was paid off behind the scenes, right? Or maybe
show it on
social media and go
Those
on
aren't cheerleaders. That's a disgrace to every male cheerleader that's been out there for a college team for the last 100 years. Those are just some sissified little punk that would love to be on RuPaul's whatever drag race it is out there dancing around. They're not cheerleaders. See, there's a difference. They went and took something else. They took some little sissies and they made them up so that they would be doing the equivalent of those girls getting out there and just doing pole dances. And they don't even allow that for the girls, which is so disgusting. Those are not cheerleaders. They're just sissified, eyelash wearing, makeup wearing, earring wearing little punks. And that's what you got out there on that field. That is not male cheerleading.
And I'm gonna say this, Valerie. You keep saying I'm not gonna do. I find I'm angered by people bringing up saying that he got paid under the table. Let me explain something to you. In all my years of boxing, as an amateur and a pro, I've only had one guy tell me, and I would never tell you who it is. Say they got paid on the table to throw a fight. But if they were going to throw the fight, they were going to have to throw the fight by getting hit, because it looks so much better on the end for you getting knocked out than walking out. You understand me?
Correct.
Right.
This was some cockamamie scheme. Curtis Harper. There's a picture that I think did I send you the picture of his wife? There's a picture that somebody froze and blew up of Curtis Harper walking out the ring, and my face is total shock and horror and amazement.
Yeah, I saw that and posted it. Yes, I did. So that's what I'm asking. If it's not part of the agenda, then is it social media? People do the craziest things nowadays to go viral.
Right. But here's the thing about it. He thought he was going to be hailed as a hero. You got to realize that when I was looking at him walk away, out of my peripheral view, I saw his wife. Her face had a smirk on it. And there's one thing you got to realize about that picture, Val. Have you really looked at that picture?
I looked at it as much as I could. It was kind of distorted when you sent it to me,
right.
And I looked it up, and I couldn't find it online. But I did look at it on my phone. Yes. Okay. Well, look at it on your phone again, and look. There's only one person in the whole picture is shocked. It ain't Curtis. Right, and that's you. Right. It ain't his wife who has a smirk on her face and still recording him walk out of the ring. It's me. Only person only two people in the whole building knew that was going down was them two.
You know what you were looking at?
To reach out to you after that?
Hold on one second.
No, we didn't.
You know what you were looking at? This is what you're looking at. See, his wife and he got to believing that bull they put out on the media about people's public opinion. It is not true. They're propagandizing their little sissified position, and they're telling people that everybody's accepting it when they're not. So they counted on people going for that nonsense. Oh, we're stopping this blood sport. It's not enough money. See, that's what's going through their head. I bet that. And that's what's behind that smirk that woman's got.
Thank you. Even if it was,
but people don't feel that, and when they looked at it, it's like, oh man, you got to be lying to me. What's going on here? And they're smirking, thinking that what they've been looking at on CNN et al. Is real. It isn't.
It ain't for them. What she got to realize, it'd be different if he was a 13-5 fighter he had been knocked out. He had his last two. He was 1-2 his last three fights and had been knocked out in one round. And the only win he had was against a guy who was an opponent, and that guy gave him fits. It's not like he was a name to be. Why should they pay him? He don't get it. He don't get it.
He
just don't get
wasn't
it.
There. He wasn't in a position to make that kind of statement, and anybody who was a real fighter wouldn't be trying to betray that sport anyway.
Right.
He don't get it.
They thought they were doing something.
Philo, do you have anything else to say before I go to the next caller?
No, I'm good.
Val,
okay.
I'm gonna say this.
And then the bad part about it, Al, he walked around, him and his wife walked around the arena 25 or 30 minutes after the fight like he had lost a close decision.
I read somewhere where it looked like he was coming back to the ring. Like, maybe he made a mistake and he was trying to walk back and then he changed his mind and then left.
Let me tell you something. That boy
There's so many conflicting stories out there.
That boy walked around that arena like he had lost a close decision. He was proud of what he did. And I looked at him when he did it. I said, you do know that this is the end of your career. Oh, my career. I was in the ring when the bell rung. I said, bro. He began to argue with me and the commission about his pay. I said, dude, you got to put forth the effort.
Wow.
Here's the thing. If the contract was bad, if there was a problem with the contract financially, and you felt that there was an issue, why didn't you walk in that night, the night we got in, or at the weigh-in and walk up to the commission table and say, my contract ain't right?
Right. Totally get it. All right, let's bring in a few more people then.
To figure it out. He
knew when he got on the plane he wasn't going to fight.
He's saying, I'll mess up this pretty face. 916-821-916. I don't know, Nate. I don't know. 916-821-916-821. You're live. Michael Gay, I'm coming to you next. 916-821. Hello? All right.
Yes.
So we got
Yes, sir.
Hi, you're live. We can hear you.
Oh, yeah. I agree that they was in cahoots because even before he went on, he was like in character, by his antics. And then
I
right, like they was in cahoots. And then it's
sir,
almost reminiscent.
What's your name so we can address you properly?
Yusuf.
Okay.
Yusuf.
Hi, Yusuf. Okay, I'm sorry for interrupting. I just want to be able to address you properly. Okay.
Yeah, and it's almost likened to Oliver McCall and Lennox Lewis when Oliver McCall had a breakdown before the fight, if you can recall that.
But Yusuf, I know Oliver McCall and Lennox personally, friends with both of them. I'm talking about tight with them. Oliver really had a breakdown. Oliver really should have been.
Right. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with that. I mean, it's just reminiscent of something that was like that just, he had a breakdown. Correct.
But even then, Oliver wasn't walking. They had to come get Oliver out the ring. They had to come get Oliver out the ring. This boy here, he left the ring like his pants had jackets on. Y'all don't get it. When he left the ring, Yusuf, do you know what he said coming down the steps when that bell rung?
What?
I can't make it up. He said, I'm out of here. His exact word was, I'm out of here. His exact word to me. And when he said it, my mouth fell open. I
saw in the picture.
Dude, I said, when he said it, I said, maybe he got to use the bathroom. I started trying to rationalize when he was leaving. I said, maybe he got his phone unlocked and his wife got it and she going through it.
Wow.
I began to rationalize. I said, oh, my God. I said, oh, no. I said, oh. I didn't.
Oh, my God. That's hilarious. Welcome, Michael Gay, to the show, 678-698. 678-698. You're live.
Hey, I had to chime in knowing that this is going to be the topic. Mr. Campbell, I think you are definitely on point because there's certain things I kind of wondered of where, if you're going to forfeit something, you don't show up. This gentleman walked out into the ring, was given the introduction, and then walked off. Okay, so I'm looking at, I'm kind of wondering, and maybe you can tell us and look it up, what was his ranking in the heavyweight division? Because I'm looking at where Anthony Joshua is 20-0, Deontay Wilder is 30-0, Joseph Parker is 24-0, Louis King Kong Ortiz is 28-0, Alexander and I think you probably know who he is. Yeah, he's 31-0. Cubit Palev, 25. Excuse background noise, and 1. You know what I'm saying? That what was his ranking? In his boxing career for him to go into the ring, thinking that he could be a champion because all these guys are way ahead of him in their record. Can you share that with us?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, you're live.
Hello?
Nate said he only won 13 fights. Yeah, Nate, we can hear you.
But here's the thing. Here's what y'all got to remember. It only takes one fight to change your lot in life.
Right.
If you do it right, the right fight. Jamil McCline won one fight. He came out and he beat Michael Grant, I think, by knockout, and he became a player in the division. See, the problem is this day and age, you guys are so worried. You guys are so caught up in the small amount of losses. When I won the world title, I think I had 5 losses. You know what I'm saying? I had 5 losses. What I'm trying to say is Curtis Harper could have made some noise with that win and ended up getting a more. If he'd have beat this kid, they'd have put him in another fight that would have been more significant. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But Nate, when I'm asking you, Nate, but when I'm asking Nate, but what I want to ask Nate is this. What I'm trying to ask Nate is this: is that where this is the heavyweight division, right?
Right.
Okay. I just named off a bunch of folks. I don't know what rank this individual who came out on onto the damn canvas. That's what it is. And going into introductions and walk out the ring and walk all the way back to the dressing room. What I'm asking you is this: is that where what rank was he at this point? Because I just read off the ranks of all the other individuals because he has to work his way up, right? So what rank was he?
And I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. You're talking about a ranking. Nobody's talking about rankings because Ajagba was only 5-0. Actually, Curtis Harper was brought in to lose. He was brought in to be an opponent. He was brought in to be that guy. He was brought in to be that guy that
to bring him down.
Made Ajagba look good. But he could have, dude. My whole, the name of my autobiography I'm working on is called Nate Campbell Experienced the Galaxy, My Life on the B-Side. I came on the B-Side. Zab Judah's daddy loves me because I made my bones on the B-Side. Curtis Harper came in on the B-Side.
Can you explain what B-Side means for those of us who don't know?
You come in to lose.
Okay.
They bring you in to lose.
So, what I'm gathering from all things treated equal, stats don't really matter anymore. We got a president who had no experience, who was a reality show.
The problem is,
so does
too
it
many
matter
people
anymore?
that watch boxing now. Too many people watch boxing now get caught up in that old thing, that 50-0 type thing that Mayweather did. I was taught that a fighter, you ain't a real fighter unless you ain't never fought. I said you've never fought anybody if you don't have a loss by the time you win the title.
Oh well, no. Well, the thing is, what I'm saying is, sir, all I'm saying is that where based on boxing rankings, and that exists, and I said that this is a heavyweight boxer, right? And so he goes into the ring, which we already know. He punks out. He walks away. He walks down the stage. But I'm saying that where I'm looking at a lot of individuals.
Let's call it what it was.
Okay, ran down the stairs. Well, I won't say he ran. He was in a fast pace. Okay, it wasn't like he strolled. Okay. I saw the video, but the whole thing is that I'm saying that where I'm kind of curious. What was? See, I never knew his ranking. Can anybody figure out what his ranking was? Because I ran down these individuals who have a ranking of 20-0 and 39-0.
Mike. His ranking. Wait a minute. You're asking a question that really doesn't matter in this fight. Ajagba's not ranked. There's no need for ranking. Neither one of these guys are ranked. But in order for one of them to get ranked,
I didn't catch that. Thank you. Right. None of them were ranked.
I got it.
All right.
I couldn't get what you were saying.
Right. I thought that they were ranked boxers. Okay, so you answered my question.
Ajagba is a prospect. Ajagba is a prospect that eventually they want to make a contender. They want to make a champion. That's how you go.
You go from to go the right way. You go from being a prospect to a contender
to a champion. To a rank. Right. Exactly. Okay. Now you've made it clear.
Curtis Harper is on the other side of that. There's another side of that coin.
Mm-hmm.
There is a guy that comes out. He goes from prospect to opponent to journeyman.
Okay. So basically, Nate, what I'm hearing you say is that by the other guy being the prospect, they brought Curtis in to get this guy a next level opponent.
Right.
And
right.
Y'all gotta realize something. Curtis Harper was the fight of the year 2 years ago.
Curtis messed that off because he got scared and ran out the ring and then blamed it on his money not being good because dude was gonna get in his ass.
Right. Okay.
Let me
you guys?
Basically right.
Chris
Nate, when you're done, I'm going to read an article from Sporting News to give you a whole nother perspective that's out there.
All right. Let me help you understand something. Chris Arreola fought Curtis Harper, but he fought Curtis Harper right after losing the world title. Curtis Harper put on a fight of a lifetime. Got knocked down the first round, got up, and got in Chris Arreola's dooley rags. I'm talking about, dude, I thought he won the fight. Broke Chris Arreola nose. Chris Arreola was a serious contender. Fought for the title twice. But here's what you got to understand. That Curtis Harper ain't the Curtis Harper that showed up last Friday.
Right. And let me read what SportingNews.com reported. It says the story behind why Curtis Harper walked out of the ring. That's the title. So it says Curtis Harper labored in obscurity for most of his 8-year career, professional boxer, but by now most boxing fans have seen the video of Harper walking out of the ring seconds after the bell rang for the start of his August 24th fight against Efe Ajagba at the Minneapolis Armory. More than 1 million viewers watched Harper on YouTube during the past 5 days. Google Curtis Harper, and 650,000 results will appear on your screen. His exit from the ring was reported by most major news organizations and featured on CNN's homepage. The commentary has been overwhelmingly derisive and centers on the demeaning storyline that Harper was terrified of his opponent. But there are issues that go beyond the standard event coverage. Sporting News has learned that Harper has been plagued by serious eye problems. Some medical experts, including doctors at the New York State Athletic Commission, have said that he shouldn't be in a boxing ring at all. He's 30 years old, 250-pound journeyman heavyweight from Jacksonville, Florida. His record, Michael, stands at 13-6 with 9 knockouts and 3 defeats by knockout. He has won 1 fight over the past 4 years, a third-round knockout to Andrew Greeley. To put that victory in perspective, in 30 fights since April 2008, Greeley has emerged victorious 1 time. And then let me just read this last part. It says here, the high point of Harper's career came back on March 2015 when he went 8 hard rounds against Chris Arreola. It says into the ring at a blubbery 262 pounds. Harper weighed 260 pounds. The assumption was that Curtis would get knocked out early, and the assumption was bolstered in round 1 when he was decked out by a right hand and rose on wobbly legs looking like 65 pounds of jello, but Arreola was woefully out of shape, and Harper evinced the mindset, if not the skill of the professional fighter. The bout devolved 2 huge guys staggering back and forth in what resembled a barroom brawl instead of a pop, crash, pow, 7th round. And that's what I'm saying. Like all these guys look out of shape. It's just amazing and an insult.
So
I
why
know
would
what
the
you look
boxing
like,
council?
Nate. You're in shape. This other guy's in shape. But now they're saying it's because of eye problems. and he shouldn't be
right.
boxing
So why
at all.
would the boxing council allow that? What I'm wondering is that where, I mean, I'm sure that the boxer has the right to say, hey, look, I don't give a damn what y'all say, I can do this. Which
no, he can't.
Obviously, no. What I'm saying, Nate, is this. When they sign that contract, right? They sign that contract. They have to sign a contract, and I'm sure you have to sign one, or you have signed some. But why would you sign a contract? Why would you sign a contract to get into the ring just to walk in? You done got the fans' money and walk the hell out when you know you're not intending to fight.
Let me read another part of the article.
Let me say this. The situation could have been resolved the same way it would have resolved had someone tried to fight above their division, or in this case, someone got disqualified, let's say, for being 3 or 4 pounds overweight, couldn't make the weight. Okay, it's a technical thing.
Right.
People understand. All he had to do was raise that issue when it became apparent, saying, look, I've thought about it. There are some medical problems. What he's talking about is the same thing probably that happened to Sugar Ray Leonard, where he's got eye problems, his eyeballs too long, and he's likely to be subject to retinal detachment for severe blows to the head. So he could have just sat there and done it the way it's done, which is you raise it as a physical infirmity, and you say, my boxing career is ended. This is not something I ought to be doing from now on. You see, that's just the way you deal with it. But he was a hack. He got hired as a hack because the fighter that he was fighting is up and coming, undefeated, and frankly, he needs to be fed some more blood so he gets a craving for it. And he sharpens his skills so he can face somebody who is a legitimate opponent. That's why the guy was getting paid to get in the ring with him. He knew that.
Right.
Circumstances were nothing that just came about out of the clear blue. They were known well in advance of the fight, and he could have posited them, and that would have been a legitimate excuse for calling off for medical reasons. But no.
But my question for you, Judge Brown.
Well, wait, Michael, before you introduce the question.
But I do have a question for Judge Brown once you get done. But I have a question for Judge Brown based on that.
Go ahead.
Here's another article. There's so many conflicting stories out here. It says Rick
Lacer, they got a lot of things.
who has represented Harper in the past dealings, has been in touch with the Minnesota Office of Combative Sports on the fighter's behalf, says that Curtis is a martyr under protest. Asked to explain, Glaser elaborates, what happened here was on August 12th, Curtis was given a contract to fight Ajagba for $6,000. He specifically asked the person who gave him the contract fight would be on TV, and he was told no. He signed the contract on August 13th and sent it back that day, and after that he was treated like garbage. He said he and his wife didn't know their plane ticket. They didn't get their plane tickets until August 22nd, the day of the fight. They flew into Minneapolis and waited at the airport for an hour and 45 minutes before they were picked up. Then they weighed in on Thursday. Curtis learned, contrary to what he'd been told before, his fight was going to be on TV, and he hadn't been given a countersigned contract, so he wanted more money. And then his wife says she's still shocked. Right, and she says she was shocked and she didn't know what was going on. And Curtis says that he's upset, and he said, but they never gave me a signed contract back and told me there was no TV, and then it was a TV fight, and I kept asking for the contract, but they would never give it to me. I pretty much made up my mind in the dressing room that I wasn't going to fight, and then we touched gloves. I saw one of the people who hadn't done right by me in the corner, and I said, that's it.
Okay, let me help you. Okay. Hold on. Wait a minute. They bought my ticket the 22nd because they bought my ticket. He told me out of his mouth he had his ticket the next day. So somebody lying. Curtis and Rick Glaser. Let me tell you something. Me and Rick Glaser I had explained to Rick Glaser, if he kept talking to me or say anything about me, that he was going to have to straighten me when he saw me. He think I'm threatening to punch him in the face, which I ain't, because he ain't worth it. But I'll step to him like a man and make him straighten me. He was not there. He did not start representing Curtis Harper till Sunday or Saturday when they got back, because he said it on Facebook. Rick Glacier's trying to make some money out of this. He don't know Curtis Harper from a hole in the wall. I've been knowing Curtis Harper since he was 13 years old. I've been knowing Curtis Harper longer than both Rick Glacier and his wife put together. Curtis Harper could have simply said, they didn't tell me he was on TV. Nobody told me that till we was in the dressing room. I'm like, dude, what we going to do now? You could have. Here was the issue. Here's what I want you to understand. I brought this fight to Curtis Harper almost 2 months ago. Warriors called me about this fight. But instead of him allowing me to make the fight, he wanted him and his wife to do it. They got $2,000 less off the bat. I could have got him $10,000 to $12,000. They took $6,000. When I went to pick up his per diem, the guy that matched the fight, Chico Rivas, said he took this fight for $6,000. I'm just here to work the corner. I'm here to help him. He said, Nate, this is the fight that I offered you about a month and a half ago, for $8,000, and for you to come back with a number, basically. I said, dude, he never called me back. Curtis Harper is trying. First of all, he's being selfish. He don't want to pay the people that work with him or come out there and spend their time. All this is about him and his wife making all the money they think they can make. And
that's my question, though. And that's my question, Nate. Is that where, okay, he forfeited the fight. Is Curtis Harper still, because there's a purse, right? Win or lose, okay, and educate me, because I'm not a boxer and I don't know actually how the boxing world works when it comes to the money aspect.
I know what you can ask.
Of it. So, exactly, did he still get paid just for showing up?
No, sir.
Okay, so because he forfeited. Okay.
No. I'm trying to explain to you. Every state has gotten smart to that kind of stuff. And it's called an effort clause. If you don't put up effort, they can hold your purse.
Okay, never heard that.
Yeah. You just can't come in there with making it a sham where you went in with the intent of pulling off some kind of scam on everybody.
So had he went into the ring and fought one round and just fell out, okay, he would have still got paid. Right, he would have got his money, right?
Yeah,
okay, if he would right, he would have got paid.
They had a check. Mm-hmm. They had a check for $50,700, $40,700, whatever it was, $50,700 for him for the purse, and another $300 for his medicals.
Okay.
Because they paid for his medicals. Curtis Harper, I didn't know the New York Commission had said he should never fight again. I just knew but New York is so strenuous on stuff that most states will let you fight with stuff that New York won't let you fight with. So New York saying that his eyes messed up is just saying that if he goes to another state with a less strenuous eye exam, he's fine. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So I wasn't knocking that so much because I'm thinking maybe he got especially after I saw the eye drops in his bag, maybe he got the eye stuff fixed. And, I thought that. But when they told me that he got bumped from California, the next day they said he got bumped from California on a fraudulent eye exam, I'm like, oh, man. I'm glad he didn't fight because he could have lost his vision. But the thing about it is Curtis Harper came there knowing he wasn't going to fight.
Let me ask you one last question, and I'm going to shut up. I'm going to ask you one last question, and I'm going to shut up and sit in the background. When I was growing up, boxing for me were the heavyweights. It weren't the lightweights and everything. As time went on, you started paying attention to the middleweights and everything. The heavyweights were Muhammad Ali and all that.
So goes boxing. The heavyweight division, and so goes boxing.
Well, I'm saying when I was growing up as a kid, I knew about, Frazier, Muhammad Ali, all those were heavyweights, right? Those were the ones that you saw on pay-per-view or you went to the movie theater and watched it and this and the other. The heavyweight division is not as popular as, certain other, weight classes. Here's Deontay Wilder and others. Do you think, and I want to ask you that, and also Judge Brown, do you think that the heavyweight division is going to ever have the heyday that, for lack of a better term, that it had back in the times of a Muhammad Ali and a Joe Frazier and George Foreman?
I got to help you understand something. You ready for this? You got to look at the era. That is the golden era of the heavyweights. Never once in the history of America did you have 3 gold medalists vying for the same title. Ali won a gold medal at 178 in 1960. Frazier won a gold medal at heavyweight in 64, and Foreman won a heavyweight gold medal in 68. You had 3 gold medalists in the same decade. So you had three. Exactly. You had three great fighters, and you had the greatest fighter, the pound for not pound for pound, because Ray Roberts is pound for pound best fighter of all time. But you had the only real heavyweight in the history of boxing. Ali is the only true heavyweight. A lot of people don't get when I say that, but I'll explain if you want me to later. You've never had a guy, 3 guys that were that dynamic come out of the amateurs, and you never will, because first of all, that was the era where you had men that were fighting for something more than just self. They were fighting for mama, daddy, family, town. You get what I'm saying? It wasn't just about the money they can make alone. It was about the people they could impact. You don't have that anymore because with the industry being the way that it is, so many guys are caught up in self. And that being said, do you think that these? I mean, you may have one guy that's great, but you'll never have that many guys that are great at the same time, because you'll never have that many guys with that much love for a group over themselves. We're selfish people now.
And the family, right. I follow you.
So,
interesting.
Curtis Harper,
even if you get a great one, you got to have an opponent.
Right. There you go. Somebody to push him. Because Frazier brought the best out of Ali. Frazier brought the best and the worst out of each other. And Foreman brought the best. He brought the best and the worst out of those 3 guys. Brought the best and the worst out of each other. You had you sprinkle in Ken Norton, you sprinkle in Ernie Shavers, you sprinkle in Cleveland Big Cat Williams, you sprinkle in guys like that. You sprinkle in Sonny Liston. You sprinkle those guys in, man. There were great guys that came along before them that actually that hung around and were able for them to pass the torch. You know what I'm saying? So my thing
the Corey brothers were, and you know what? And the Corey brothers were the great White Hope, but those were some great matches, though.
Yeah, yes, they were. Jerry Corey and Mike Corey were great fighters. As a matter of fact, Jerry Corey and Mike Corey got knocked out the same night. At light heavyweight, Mike Corey got knocked out by probably the greatest light heavyweight of all time, Bob Foster, and Ali knocked out Jerry Corey the same night, same card, same room. Both of them. Can you imagine that ride back to the family house? You did better than I did. No, you did.
Okay.
Too, brother.
Well, let me say this, y'all. If I was out of shape like Harper, I would have ran to the ring, and once I got in the ring, I would have ran around the ring and threw a punch every 2 minutes or every 20 seconds. You know what I'm saying? And I would have got myself to shape. By the time the fight would have been over, I'd have been in shape by the 15th round. How many rounds was it, Nate?
It was a 6-round fight, and everything that Curtis Harper is telling you and Rick Glacier's telling you and his wife are telling you is all a spin job. It's all a spin job.
Well, by the 4th round, after I'd have been running, I'd have been down to the weight I needed and muscles, and then I'd have knocked dude out in the 5th round. So he should have came in running.
Well, let me
You know what, bro? I'm gonna tell you something.
See, here is the problem.
Y'all gotta hear what I'm saying. Everything Curtis Harper's doing is trying to paint himself to be the victim. That is the problem with our society now.
Right.
Everybody want to be the victim. Nobody want to take accountability for what they did.
Good point.
See, here's the thing. Boxing, especially heavyweight boxing, it's all about once you step in that ring, all that other stuff goes flying out the window. It's like you going to either deliver or they're going to deliver you out of the ring
get off the pot
on your back. So, what we saw, Harper was running flim-flam, and the sport's not flim-flam. The sport is boxing. You see what I'm saying?
I'm going to tell y'all just like
Amen.
this. I don't have no beef with that brother.
Amen.
I have no beef with that brother, but I am currently trying to. I'm talking to counsel about, dude. I'm going after him. I'm going after him and his wife. I feel like they had a plan to do this. I keep telling people. I said the lawyer that takes my case is going to make the biggest name in the world for themselves. Because if nothing else, all the promoters in the world are going to love you.
I have two attorneys I want to introduce you to, but I also want to let you know that your position is getting a lot of play online because I see it on a couple different websites. It says here, trainer ripped into boxer Curtis Harper for bailing on televised fight. He cost me money. Trainer Nate Campbell reacts to his fighter Curtis Harper's stunning decision to leave the ring just 1 second into his televised bout against Efe Ajagba. And then it says on Friday night's premiere, boxing champions on FS1 card, journeyman heavyweight Curtis Harper made headlines by literally bailing on his fight with prospect Efe. I'm going to leave it there. I keep butchering his name. As he exited the ring, Ajagba, after he exited the ring straight after the opening bell. Ajagba was credited with 1 second win by disqualification. Harper later told reporter Jordan Hardy that he felt he wasn't getting paid enough and wanted respect. Harper has not said anything to media since this bizarre moment, and it's likely that he won't get paid and he'll be suspended by the Minnesota Commission. In the meantime, Harper's trainer, former world lightweight champion Nate Campbell, has sounded off on Harper's behavior through his Facebook page. Among his numerous statements, Campbell accuses Harper of not being truthful with regards to his pay dispute claim, and there are a lot of explicits. They marked out a lot of things that you said, but it says,
I meant every bit of it.
Campbell then added that Harper's action cost him money, and he's obviously not getting paid from Friday's event, and seemed to indicate that Harper's been going after him for whatever reason. So you are getting a lot of attention as it relates to your position. So I just wanted to let you know that because I found it on several different sites.
You know what? I really didn't want this. I want people to understand something. The only reason I'm talking to y'all, if he would have came to me and apologized and said, "Man, I was wrong," and I would never have spoken. I'd have kept my mouth shut. But my daughter said, "Daddy, remember loyalty." I said, "Loyalty went out the window when he stepped out that ring." And he left me sitting there in that corner by myself. He didn't have to call me. Look, there's a problem with loyalty. Loyalty goes both ways. Loyalty goes both ways. And if you're not loyal to me, the one dude that I've given up. When people told me to not mess with him, I still did because I was being loyal to him. But dude, come on, man. What you did was beyond forgiveness. You can't forgive this.
So Nate, do they not put whether the bout is televised? I know in the contract.
No, they don't.
I know. Okay.
Well, they don't. They didn't. But here's the thing. Curtis's wife. Here's the thing. Curtis and again, I told you, Curtis and his wife tried to negotiate this fight.
Mm-hmm.
I would have got him at least $10,000, probably $12,000 for this fight, or close as I could have got him for it. But the thing about it is, you got a greenhorn trying to negotiate with the big boys.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's like, I'm gonna say this here. That's like going in front of Judge Joe Brown by yourself, and somebody got a paid attorney. No offense. More than likely, what's gonna happen with that judge?
Hey, we got to sing. If an attorney represents himself, he's either got a fool for a client or a fool for a lawyer.
There you go.
Right.
So
there you go.
Rather than say, Nate, as he has done before, Nate, this is how much I want. Call me and say, Nate, this is how much I want. I'd have went and got it for him. And here's the sad part about it. I've never stolen from this kid. I've never taken a dime from him more than any time money came, I got money from him, he gave it to me. And it's never been much.
Well, Nate, it sounds like he's acting out of character. So why do you think that out of nowhere he decided to do this? Do you think that it's the wife that's now playing, she wants more of a role in his career? I mean, it seems like something else is going on behind the scenes.
I'm going to say this here. I'm going to say this. What she needs to do is put down the roles and let somebody who know what they're doing help her husband.
Can I ask a question real quick for Judge Brown?
I would have negotiated. Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on. I would have negotiated the contract, made sure he got everything he needed, and he'd have still gave me the same fee he gives me as a trainer. The same little funky $10,000. 10% rather. If it was $10,000, $1,000, or $300, whatever 10% would have been, that's what he would have gave me. I've never cheated this boy. And the sad part about it is, this the same dude that stole my at Battery. You remember? Remember the guy took my car and drove off and I couldn't find it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do remember.
That's Curtis.
I do.
That's him.
Right.
This is him. I'm the guy that forgave him and took him back. But I'm the bad guy here.
Can I ask a question for Judge Brown, though?
Well, Nate, let me ask Nate a question, because Nate, how did he look when you was trained? I mean, was he ready? Could he throw him? How'd you train him, man?
Let me tell you something, because, listen, it's easy to cast aspersion on his career because he's lost. That's how they keep you out of fights. Didn't they keep telling it was a sloppy fight with him and Chris Ariolo? He took the Chris Ariolo fight on 10 days' notice. Came in, stood in there with the number 4 rated heavyweight on the planet at the time, and gave him all he wanted. You can say what you want about that kid, but he exhibited heart and a fair amount of skill on such a short notice. But the problem is this. After that fight, he went through a Great Depression. He had a damaged eye, couldn't fight. This kid went through, listen, he had some people investing in him that were still paying his bills even after the Areola fight. This clown went and sat down without me at a meeting and told all these rich people, I said, first of all, you going to sit down with these white folk, and just like I said, you might want to be take somebody with you who can keep you shutting up, because you're going to say something stupid. As my mama says, if I'm lying, I grew wings and I'm flying. She told these people, I don't want to fight no more.
but okay, so
listen to me. And 30 days later, he was sleeping on the streets.
Can I ask you, Valerie? Can I ask Judge Brown a question?
I'm listening.
Okay, sir. Okay, first I have 2 questions. Have you ever represented any boxers? Okay, and what kind of advice would you have given to this particular individual if they came to you and said, "This is what I plan to do," as you being their representative, as their lawyer? You follow what I'm saying?
There are some rules that are in place to handle a situation like that. You might find out what they are and follow them. I have never represented a boxer. As I said, I knew Muhammad Ali personally. A very good friend, was his bodyguard for several years, personal bodyguard. I've had extended conversations with George Foreman, Lennox Lewis, not Lennox Lewis, Hitman Hearns, and
Tommy Hearns, yeah.
Yeah, hell of a fighter, very educated man, too. Self-educated and formally. And Sugar Ray Leonard, we had some interesting conversations. I've known a number of fighters. I even talked to his wife and daughter that got into fighting, and also Frazier's daughter who got into fighting. So I kept up with the sport, but there are some rules, and it might have helped if he had familiarized himself with the rules. If he had an eye problem, a retinal detachment problem that he was looking at, there was an out to that he could have taken without all of that flim-flam drama. As it was just totally inexcusable. See, basically what he's saying in his defense now is, I never should have done it, so I should never fight again, which is understandable.
Right.
You know, his career was lackluster, but as I said earlier, he was supposed to be an appetizer for an up-and-coming potential champion. That's basically what it was. He could break back into it. Lennox Lewis did what he did after being out of shape. He got to training real hard. He put up some good fights. You can come back. You know, all it takes is a good blow to give yourself and the fans confidence that you can put somebody down and your career is remade.
Right.
You know, look at Ali.
And at one point,
Can I say something? Can I say something, guys?
And then I just want to say this, and I want to thank Judge Joe Brown for chiming in. You know,
get it out.
I understand what he's saying is that but the whole thing, because Valerie shared me that video, I'm looking at like, I've never seen this shit before. I've never seen a boxer walk into a ring and then walk out the ring and walk all the way down a damn. You know what I'm saying? You if you guys haven't seen it, you have to look at it. That was
I will play it again before we leave. Nate, Nate, were you saying something?
I was going to say something. People fail to realize something. Two of my favorite fighters in the history of boxing that I watched growing up, and I'm friends with both of them, were Freddie, Fearless Freddie Pendleton, and Emmanuel Augustus. Anybody on here familiar with him?
I know Emmanuel Augustus. Yeah, great.
He has a losing record. Has a got shot in the head some years back, trying to break up a fight. And somebody said, "What do you think about Emmanuel being shot?" When they called him, I said, "If anybody can win, come back from this, it's gonna be Emmanuel. He's living today, and he's training people." Freddie Pendleton, I think, was 26-26 when he won the world title. Some crazy messed up record like that. People get these records mixed up. I'm trying to help y'all put this in perspective. I believe that Curtis Harper, before he pulled his stunt, could still do it if he gave it his all. But he's such a head case. And now he has somebody. I believe his wife is the worst thing that ever happened to him, because she's an enabler. She is an enabler. And the worst thing a fighter can ever have, first thing a fighter can ever have is an enabler.
Right.
Right. And that's not only for just sports either, because I remember taking that position. There was a certain rapper who I told him I could only take him so far, and then you have to let go. You got to love them that much that you will allow someone who's an expert in that field to take career into their hands so that they can become whatever it is that I'll put a God on it, because I'm very spiritual as it relates to the reason why we are here and how far that you can go. But I want to right now, Michael, give me just a second. We're almost at the end of the show. I'm going to pay a few bills, and when we come back, I'm going to go around the board and get everybody's final words, statements, suggestions, comments you guys want to address. Either Judge Joe Brown or Nate Campbell. That'll be awesome. And I apologize to people. I see a lot of people just raise their hand, and I can't get to you. I need to go back around the board and grab these people and get their contact information. And guys, have a happy and safe Labor Day, in case I forget to say that. Right now, like I said, guys, if you got any background noise, I hear a little bit, please put yourself on mute so I won't have to. We're going to pay some bills, and then I will see you on the other side of the break. I don't know who that is, but yeah, please help me out by fixing that before we get back. Thank you.
Are you ready to make money? Lincoln Heritage Life Insurance Company is seeking agents in Indiana, Florida, Ohio, and Virginia. Contact Contact Ebony Fire at 216-224-5311 for details.
Everyone's nervous on a first date, but with my situation, it's even scarier. I want to be open and honest, but some things are almost impossible to talk about. Then I discovered StartToDate.com.
With StartToDate.com, I found a partner that I can tell anything to and not be afraid or feel like I'm hiding things. I never dreamed I could be this happy.
Stop worrying and start dating with StartToDate.com, where relationships begin with honesty and trust. Download the app at StartToDate.com.
Are you a dope go-getter like a stylist, model, beauty expert, or independent artist doing your thing? If so, Fashion Life and Tea is looking for you. All you have to do is email us at info@fashionlifeandtea.com for a chance to be on our podcast. To learn more about who we are and what we do, you can check out our blog at fashionlifeandtea.com.
Hip-hop fanatics, you are now tuned in to the baddest. Sire Jukebox, the original ghetto boy, and the enforcer, DJ Ready Red, still making trouble.
While you're listening to the celebrity consultant Valerie Denise Jones.
All right, we're back. You're listening to the Judge Joe Brown Show, and of course I played that clip because we recently lost one of my good friends, my buddy, my pal, DJ Ready Red of the Ghetto Boys. I wanted to pay tribute to him, of course, because here soon they're going to be making final funeral arrangements, and then I will, of course, introduce that on upcoming show. And another person I want to pay tribute to is Miss Aretha Franklin. Bill Clinton spoke at her funeral, and I love what he said. He said that he was not there as a president, but as a groupie. Oh my gosh, this woman was phenomenal, and I really, really enjoyed the speech that the former president delivered at Miss Aretha Franklin's funeral, a.k.a. Aretha Franklin, the Queen of Soul. All right, so we're back, and what I'm going to do, as promised, I'm going to go around the room. We are down to our last 20 minutes, and I want to start with Judge Joe Brown, and then I'm going to go to you, Nate, to make sure that you get your point across. Whatever it is that you want to be heard and whatever it is that you want to say to this guy, because I really feel like this is an injustice, that, he ripped you off and that he betrayed you, and I hate it when things go sour, and people should be loving on each other as opposed to the latter. And I don't know why other things take precedence. I don't understand why money is a priority, or when other parties are involved, they become a priority and it sours other relationships. But anyway, that's just me, always in my feelings, because I'm all about love and, getting along with everybody. So Judge Joe Brown, in honor of the fact that this is your show, do you have any final words or anything that you want to say?
Oh, yeah. First off, you can find me on Twitter at Judge Joe Brown TV. It does not have a blue check. I'm relying on whatever I say carrying the day rather than that blue check. But this, again, is part of a new trend. It's got to do with taking masculinity out of society. There's certain ways men are supposed to do things. In other words, straight up. You're not supposed to do things in what they call a chicken shit fashion. Excuse me. That's basically what it is. If he had a medical problem, there was a way to have handled that. You got an enabling wife. They say behind a good man is a good woman. Sometimes one of the worst things a man can have is a bad woman. And there's too much of this stuff going on in society where you start playing an angle that isn't right for what you're doing. The sport's been good to him. He's had his chance with it. And it's not fair nor appropriate, nor is it manly for him to start trying to play this game, CNN et al. Are trying to play with it being a blood sport, trying to take it out. There needs to be something that still keeps primal manhood out there raw and unadulterated for the public to look at. It's a thing we need. So everybody else has been very irritated about what they've said about it. So I feel like I'm in good company. I'll pass the baton. Somebody else, I'm sure, has got more to say.
Yeah, Nate, I would like for him to pass the baton to you because I want to make sure that you get your point across. And I'd like to give you, you got like 5 or so minutes to share what it is that you want to say to this person and also address your Facebook audience.
First of all, anybody who knows me knows they can reach me at Nate Campbell. My page is Nate Campbell. There's a moving video of me knocking out a guy in the ring, and there's also Nat Turner Campbell. That page I'm on every day. You can hit me up on Experience the Galaxy at Nate Campbell. On internet, on my internet, and Galaxy is spelled with 2 X's. You can watch me on Saturdays at Experience the Galaxy with Nate Campbell on LDLTV.com on YouTube, or hit me up on Facebook Live, Experience the Galaxy. First of all, you know that sometimes you meet a person, you watch a person on TV and you're like, I know I'm going to like him. If I ever meet him, if I ever in a room with him, I'm going to like him. That is the most truest statement I've ever made about Judge Joe Brown. He has been the realest guy ever. He said the stuff that I say on a regular basis. Curtis Harper has an enabling wife that would like to make him believe that somebody owes him something. He also has had people around him that are trying to use him to poke a stick at boxing and hurt a sport that has saved more lives than it has ever broken. If it wasn't for boxing, I'd be in prison right now probably. If it wasn't for boxing, I would get to change my family's name. The night that I won the world title, I could truly say that was the day that everybody in my life that last name was Campbell was no longer remembered as drug dealers, murderers, robbers, thieves, and so on. When you say Nate Campbell or Campbell in Jacksonville, they say, you mean the guy that won the world title. It took me I built the back of this city. I built boxing up on my own back in this city. I've represented Jacksonville as best I could every time I went out. I would never do anything to defame the name of this city, even though this city hasn't always been the best or the nicest to me. As a foster child growing up in and out of foster care with a mother on drugs and a father that died, I refuse to allow someone like Curtis Harper or anyone to come and destroy what we as fighters in Florida have done for our prospective cities. When you got guys that I fought in the golden era of boxing, Winky Wright, Jeff Lacey, me and Jeff were roommates in amateurs, Roy Jones, Glenn Johnson, Tony Tarver, David Santos, Randall Bailey, Vince Phillips, Smoke Gaynor, Jeff Lacey again, Keith and Andre Berto, all guys that are still fighting currently to some extent. Please know that what this young man did is not indicative of what we are or who we are as fighters. And if this is allowed to stand, boxing will pay a very, very big price. If fighters are allowed to do what Curtis Harper did, boxing will not be able to stand. It will not survive. This is a danger and a threat to boxing. Not just to me, but to boxing. I just happen to be the one that's embarrassed. He didn't have to call me. He didn't have to ask me to go with him. And his wife asked me to go with him before he did. He didn't have to come to the gym and sit down and have a discussion with me about working his corner. The problem is nobody wants to be accountable. Nobody wants to do what men are supposed to do. Everybody wants to blame somebody else for their actions. That's why we're losing. That's why manhood, being an alpha male is outlawed, especially for black men. He's married to a woman. She loves to call me a misogynist and a racist because that's what she said. You two black guys two big black men are yelling at a white woman. I had to make her understand something. This ain't about you right now. This is about this young man trying to get to the ring. But what I realized after having that conversation with her and looking back at it, neither one of them were going to ever allow him to be hit or
throw a punch in that ring because they had other plans. There is no way that this should stand. There's no way that this can stand and boxing survive it. I just want people to understand this one very important thing. You sign a contract with the good faith to carry out that contract. If you don't like the way the contract is structured, and if the people around you didn't do the job they were supposed to do, he could have addressed that the night he got there. He knew what the contract said when he got there because he signed it. He knew what the contract was all about because he signed it. When he found out the fight was on TV, he could have said something to the promoter right then. He could have said something to me. Everything he's saying is a lie about his money being cut. It's not about being cut. He just didn't have the right person to negotiate it. Thank you very much.
So I want to ask you real quick, because you know I can't just let you go fly by that. You think it's different because she's a white woman? You know?
No.
Over
Here's
this
the problem.
black
She
man's career? Maybe she just doesn't get it.
She feels entitled. There's an entitlement this young lady has. She has an entitlement that only lives in white people. Black folk don't have that same entitlement. We don't have it.
Well, that's my point. Do you think she doesn't get it because she doesn't understand us, right? I think we're saying the same thing.
It's not that she doesn't. She can't understand it. She
like
that
Kanye West and Kim Kardashian. Oh, I can't listen to that.
Yes,
I'll get Judge Brown riled up. But yeah, you know, certain races don't get other races.
I got something to say about that.
Certain women cannot support
Valerie.
certain men of power because they don't understand that melanin.
Here's the problem. And I said this before, and I'll say it again. Somebody got to give up who they are to be in an interracial relationship. Would you agree, Judge Brown? Judge Brown?
Totally agree.
Somebody got to give up.
Word is amen.
Somebody got to give up who they are.
I got to sound like for that.
Hey, somebody got to give it. I say it all the time. One of us got to give up who we are. Either a white man gonna try to be more black, or the black woman, or vice versa. However it is, somebody got to give up something. And what?
Well, you know what her problem is. If I can interject this just very briefly, she's anti-masculine. She's part of that feminist trend where they're trying to tone down masculinity. They call it toxic masculinity, but guess what? That kind of masculinity is what actually keeps the world safe and peaceful. When you cut down on masculinity, you cut down on standards, you cut down on mannerability, ethics, morality, peacefulness, and also the heroic that they don't like.
I'm going to say this here. I'm going to say this, Valerie. Every place where masculinity was outlawed or softened ended. Every place in the world that has ever had masculinity and masculinity was allowed to be challenged and become soft, Egypt, Rome, Greece, all of them in ruins. You only talk about what they once were, right or wrong.
Right.
Amen.
Right.
And I'm gonna say that. I'm saying it just like I mean it. She's one of those feminist LGBT supporters, and she could not deal with my masculinity. And I was glad. And the more she couldn't deal with it, the more I rubbed it in her face. I'm a man. You wouldn't understand this because you can't. I said it about 50 times at dinner that night. I'm a man. You still, and I went so far as to say, I'm a black man. You definitely can't get it. See, the problem is, she wanted me to kowtow to her, and I was not about to. First of all, honey, if anything in this world, I need to make this be known to you. I'm a loaded round. Every day, all day. I'm a loaded round because no other race of man wakes up with the same understanding about life as black men. The average black man wakes up every morning with this one thing on his mind. He don't wake up wondering what I'm gonna eat for lunch. He don't wake up wondering about if the car gonna start. None of us worry about that. You know what we worry about, Valerie?
Yeah.
If we gonna make it home.
Right.
So you definitely can't understand. You definitely can't understand me. Now I'm not you marry who you marry.
because I have friends with white wives who I love. John David Jackson's wife, Kathy, I call her the gold standard of women. I said if I was going to ever marry a woman that was white, she better be like Kathy, because Kathy set such a high standard.
Valerie, you want me to go ahead and chime in?
But wait a minute. But you, and I'm not knocking you, or knocking nobody for doing that. But I'm saying that's just my opinion of the women that I've met that are white that marry black men, because most of them emasculate them in some way, shape, form, or fashion, and she emasculates them through, and I couldn't deal with that, and she couldn't deal with me.
Right.
Michael, I was about to go to Yusef because he's been quiet, and then I'll come to you, and then Philo, and then down the board. Again, I apologize to everybody who recently pressed the number 1. We are out of time. We are down to our last 10 minutes, and I hope you enjoyed today's show and that you will return next Friday, 4 p.m. 929-477-1167 is the number to lock in your phone. Also, if you decide to listen to this via the archives, please make sure that you subscribe. Yusef, you've been quiet this entire time. Do you have any final words or comments? And also, can you share your contact information with us?
Oh, well, yeah. I'm Yusef, and I'm on J King Network Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific time, as Yusef Kente. But anyway, I agree with what Judge Joe Brown is talking about, as well as the brother. You know, he should. You know, I saw it from the beginning of him as being in cahoots with his wife. You know, it was just something about the antics how he was putting on, like they said, this is gonna be the signal or something to let you know I'm gonna go through with it. You know, and you know, I don't get it. You know, I don't get why would you do that and what he's really after. You know, it's crazy. It was funny to me. You know, he just didn't want to fight the dude. That's how, as soon as he took his shirt off, you know, the dude didn't want to fight him. He knew he wasn't in shape, like Ali said, you know, and that's what it sums up to me. But I enjoyed the show. One love.
Thank you. And since you mentioned Ali, why don't you come on in and give us your contact information and any final comments?
I've got one short one.
Well, first of all, I just want to say, if you ain't going to fight, don't even act like it. You know what I'm saying? Don't even try to play with the game. You know what I'm saying? At all. Don't even come to the gym if you ain't ready to fight in boxing, because that's a serious, serious sport. I thought it was a joke when I was a little kid, tried to get in the ring because I saw a ring and put on some gloves and got knocked out real quick. You understand? You got to have skill, and if Nate Campbell come up there and show you some skill to try to help you, man, don't be playing with the game, man. You know what the contract said, but let alone the contract, where's your morals at? Because that's what these people is lacking, morals. And y'all sure better get them. Anyway, you can reach me at Ali on Facebook and God Rap Man on Twitter. I want to say much love, and I'm going to miss DJ Ready Red. Much respect to Judge Joe Brown, and much respect to Nate Campbell. And I love you, Valerie. You know, and the great, I see you in the back. Much love, man.
Thank you. Since you mentioned the great.
30 seconds. I'd like to take about 15, 20 seconds to point something. I got to talking about masculinity. Even though feminism, that LGBTQ thing, and I just said the signs are all there because they're written loud and neon, and that's what I saw. So it's something obvious that people are missing these days that they need to get once again. We need to put that back into the equation so we get some standards. See, I've got a particular love for, I was kind of nerdy, and I was growing up in a bad neighborhood, but my old man said, look, I'm teaching you how to box. He used to box when he was in the Army, and he showed me how to do it, and it made my life a whole lot different ever since elementary school. You know, it was always, okay, let's throw down. And then I got martial arts. I've been taking that for 50-some years. But, you know, boxing is a thing that'll help you be a man so you can deal with that, what do they call it, the manly art of self-defense, and see there is something sacred about that. And for this clown to jump himself out there and embarrass it like that is just intolerable.
Right.
Anyway.
Right.
Hey, you know what? I love the way you say it, Judge. Let me tell you something. I'll say this to anybody. And Valerie, I want y'all to hear this. And I'm not bragging. If you walk up to anybody who came along and boxing with me, they call me a legend. I will box, and I ain't talking about just in the ring that you saw. I will walk into a gym and knock a heavyweight clean out, 126, 130 pounds, and stand over their body twitching and say, what? Who next? Because what I believed was I was as good as any man in the land, because my daddy told me I was. My mama told me I was. And the problem is these guys don't have that kind of self-confidence anymore. They call it arrogance now. When I was coming up, they called it being a man. They called it being a dog, D-A-W-G. I was a dog. As a matter of fact, the young man that was commentating the fight, one of the twins, Jamal Charlo, he said me and my brother grew up wanting to be you. We wrote book reports about you. So my daddy came home from prison, and he said, this the fighter you need to watch. And it was me. And I never knew how my life, what I did, impacted somebody until I came along, and I realized all these kids that are coming up now behind me, some of them are world champions, and some of them are ranked number 1, 2 in the world. Some of them say, man, I remember you came to my gym and told me I could be world champion. And I'm like, wow, that meant something. You said, man, it meant the world to me. That's why I'm here. So can you imagine what some kid who might have looked at Curtis Harper as a role model going to end up? Think about it.
Right. Wow, that's powerful. Definitely powerful. Speaking of powerful, someone I mentioned a portion of this show paying tribute to the late DJ Ready Red. He called someone on his phone the Great. So we're going to go on and bring him in and let him give his final words as well as his contact information. Yes, I will give you you're going to have the last word. Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm going to you're after Philo, and then we're gonna wrap and bid everybody adieu and wish them well this weekend. Please be safe. It's Labor Day weekend. Also my birthday weekend, so guys, make sure that you tune in for a birthday show Monday and Tuesday. But we'll talk about that another time.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, Judge Brown. Next Wednesday, though, it's September 5th.
Okay.
We'll get to that. Of course, I'm going to hit y'all up in your inbox because we're going to do birthday shows. But Philo, come on in, and thank you for the birthday shout-out. Philo, come on in and give us your contact information and final words.
Well, you know, I can be reached at Philo the Great on everything. PH like phone, ELOTHEGREAT. But Judge Joe Brown said something earlier in the show, man, that's like when he was talking about masculinity, man, he was like, some of these dudes out here with pink drawers on. And, you know, I can attest to that. And, Nate, this is what I want you to do for me. You going after your money at the dude, but make sure you sue his ass for walking to the ring with some purple motherfucking trunks on and the pink trim. And the pink trim around him. He had the pink trim on and the purple, you know what I'm saying? Then he walked off. My thing is this. If you're going to put on those type colors, then you don't pull a cowardice act. And I want you to sue him because, like you said, he knew he was going to do that. They knew they was going to do that before when he was on the plane, when he showed up, because you don't pick those trunks like that unless you going to make a statement and beat the brakes off somebody. You just don't do that. You know what I'm saying? That ain't man. That ain't masculine. So, man, you make sure you go after Buddy, man. You make sure you get what's owed to you, bro, because it is a slap in the face. I believe I heard you say that anytime you fought, anytime you did anything, you made sure you carried the honor not only of yourself, but the city of Jacksonville, where you from, bro, and you made sure that, you know what I'm saying, you upheld your integrity and your dignity for the people who believe in you. And for you to believe in Buddy like you did, man, like you said, you've been knowing Buddy since he was 13. And for you to stick your neck out on the line like that, man, them folks walk out and Buddy walk out like that, bro. Man, do everything you got to do, bro, to get what's yours, bro, because that was some BS, for real. Don't see low to Drake. Good luck. God bless. Gone.
All right,
Thank you. All right, Michael, you got our last 2 minutes.
Well, I want to say I've really enjoyed this conversation. I really have. Judge Joe Brown, all you guys, I mean, really great. I'm trying to be, not get emotional.